Let me tell you something that'll rattle your soul if you've got any spark left in you. You are the problem and you are the solution. Most of you don't even realize you're in a cage because the bars are made of comfort and the door was never locked. You sit there scrolling through your feet, watching men win, watching power get built, empires rise, money move, women follow, and somewhere deep down, something in you stirs. That's your real self, buried under years of excuses and weakness, screaming to be let out. But instead of listening, what do? You silence it with cheap dopamine. You bury it with food, video games, porn, entertainment, sleep. And you call it a break. You call it self-care. No. It's self-betrayal. You don't lack time, you don't lack motivation, you lack self-respect. You don't believe you're worthy of greatness, so you don't chase it. And the truth is, most people around you want you to stay small. Your friends don't want you rich because it reminds them they're poor. Your girl doesn't want you too focused because it reminds her she's not enough to distract you. Even your family will throw doubt at you when you try to evolve because your growth exposes their stagnation. And what do? You shrink, you conform, you dim your light to make everyone else comfortable, then wonder why you're depressed. You wonder why you don't feel alive anymore. It's because you chose to kill the most dangerous, powerful version of yourself before you ever got the chance to breathe. There's something inside you, call it spirit, fire, DNA, whatever, that is starving for challenge, starving for pressure. You don't grow in safe environments. You don't unlock anything when life is easy. Diamonds form under pressure. Legends are born in chaos. But here you are, avoiding all discomfort like it's death, when in reality, discomfort is the key to your evolution. Every hard thing you avoid is the very thing that's meant to unlock the next level of you. You can't pray for strength and then curse the weight. That's not how this works. You either suffer voluntarily now or suffer involuntarily for the rest of your life. Your potential doesn't knock twice. And listen, I'm not here to beat you down. I'm not yelling at you because I hate you. I'm yelling because I know you've got more in you and no one else in your life is man enough to say it. I don't care what mistakes you've made. I don't care how far you've fallen. Every great man had his moment of weakness. But what made him great is he didn't stay there. He didn't accept that rock bottom was home and use it as a launch pad. You've still got time, you've still got air in your lungs, blood in your veins, and a chance to rewrite the script. But that window is closing. Life won't wait for you to feel ready. The world is ruthless to the passive and generous to the relentless. What you need is not more advice. You don't need another motivational video or morning routine. You need to remember who you were before the world told you to play small, before society softened you, before weakness became trendy. There was a time, maybe as a kid, maybe as a teenager, when you had ambition that could burn a hole through steel. You wanted to conquer the world, and somewhere along the way, they drained that from you. School taught you obedience, not dominance. Friends taught you sarcasm, not loyalty. Social media taught you envy, not strategy. But deep inside, that beast is still alive. It's not dead, just buried, starved, beaten down, waiting for you to wake up and choose violence against your old self. To say enough is enough. No more hiding, no more fear, no more pretending I'm not built for more. You're not stuck, you've just been stagnant. Your muscles have atrophied. Your ambition's been neglected. But you can come back. And when you come back with rage in your soul and purpose in your heart, the world moves out of your way. Not because it wants to, but because it has to. Power doesn't ask for permission, it commands respect. And when you step into your real potential, people will feel it before you even speak. Doors will open, opportunities will unfold, and the man you're meant to be will stop hating you and finally shake your hand. I remember sitting in a cold apartment, lights off, heat barely working, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this was it. Not because I was broke, but because I was lost. I didn't know who the hell I was anymore. The hunger was still there, but the direction was gone. I had been knocked down, betrayed, ridiculed, and pushed to the edge more times than I could count. I had every reason to quit, every excuse in the world to stay down. And I thought for a split second, maybe this life isn't meant for me. Maybe I'm just not one of the chosen ones. But then something flipped in my mind. A rage that came from somewhere primal, somewhere ancient. Not the kind of rage that lashes out at the world, the kind that turns inward and says, I'm done being average. I'm done letting this world beat me. I'm going to war. That moment didn't come with music. No crowd, no camera, just me and my mind. And that's how it always begins. You don't wake up successful. You wake up broken and decide you're not staying there. You don't need a support group when you become the support. You don't wait for someone to tell you you're capable. You look in the mirror, see a man you barely recognize, and decide to resurrect the one you were born to be. You don't need therapy when you have clarity. You don't need motivation when you have purpose. And your purpose will never show up while you're sitting in comfort. You find it in pain. You discover it in isolation. And once you've felt what it means to be truly alone with your own failures, then and only then can you build something real. The world didn't give me anything. Nobody handed me success. Nobody said, hey, Tate, you deserve this life. What I had was my mind, my focus, and the unshakable belief that no one was coming to save me. And that was a gift. You think you're cursed because no one helps you. I promise you, you're blessed. Because when you build it yourself, brick by brick, you become a man that can never be broken again. You stop needing validation. You stop seeking applause. You stop fearing failure because you've already felt rock bottom and you're still breathing. Most people live so soft, they never even meet the real version of themselves. They wear masks. They lie to themselves. They cling to mediocrity and call it balance. That's not life. Survival. That's the slow death of a man who once dreamed. You think this life is about being liked, about fitting in? No, it's about dominating your space, owning your decisions, and being proud of the man you see every morning. I had to learn that through betrayal, through watching fake friends disappear the moment things got tough, through losing money, respect, relationships, and still pushing forward like none of it fazed me. And that's what I need you to understand. You'll be tested. Life will break you to see if you're serious. It'll whisper every doubt into your ear and ask you, are you really built for this? Most of you fold, but the few who don't, they rise. They build legacies. They become unavoidable. There's no secret. There's no hack. There's only you versus the excuses you've been recycling for years. And I get it. You've been hurt. You've been let down. You've failed. But so what? Everyone has. That's not your curse. That's your curriculum. Those lessons weren't to punish you. They were to shape you, to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your heart. Every scar is a weapon if you know how to wield it. Every loss is a lesson if you stop crying long enough to understand it. You're not a victim, you're a man. And a man doesn't beg for mercy. He creates opportunity where none exists. He carves his path with bloody hands and a clear mind. If I made it out of that dark room with no blueprint, no help, no hope, then what's your excuse? If I can turn that rage into discipline, that hunger into strategy, that pain into dominance, then so can you. But you have to stop flirting with the idea and marry the process. Stop treating your goals like side projects. You either go all in or stay out of the game. Success doesn't respond to half-hearted energy. You don't try to win. You either win or you don't. That's life. And once you stop lying to yourself, once you confront the fact that you've been playing small, that's when things shift. That's when you stop being a boy chasing dreams and become a man creating reality. Because in the end, no one's coming. And that's not a tragedy. That's your greatest freedom. The pen is in your hand. The clock is ticking. And the only question that matters now is, are you going to write your legacy or just read someone else's? Do you know what keeps me sharp? What keeps me dangerous? It's not luxury. It's not the money. It's not even the power. It's the awareness that time is closing in. That every single second is being stolen. Every breath you take is one closer to your last. And while you're distracted by dopamine, by fake friends, by pointless entertainment, there's a man out there getting sharper, stronger, faster, and he's coming for everything you thought you had time to achieve. That's the reality. This world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution. And the clock doesn't care about your mood, your excuses, your mental health days. Time is merciless. The question is, are you moving with urgency or are you coasting on delusion? You want to talk about fear? Here's real fear. Waking up 5 years from now in the exact same place. Same routine, same weak bank account, same soft body, same mental fog. That moment when you realize the world didn't ruin you, you did it to yourself. You wasted time, you ignored the signs, you traded growth for comfort and called it balance. That's fear. That's what should keep you awake. Because mediocrity isn't some ghost hiding in the shadows. It's right there in your habits, in the way you sleep in, the way you skip the gym, and how you lie to yourself every day with, I'll start tomorrow. That's not a delay, that's self-destruction in disguise. You're not waiting, you're decaying, slowly, quietly, until one day it's too late. And let me tell you something, no one's gonna mourn your wasted potential. The world moves on. Success doesn't care that you had it rough. Winners are too busy winning to notice who's still sitting on the bench. That's why I live like the walls are closing in, because they are. That's what keeps me on edge. I treat every morning like it's a final chance to leave my mark, because I've seen how fast it can all disappear. I've seen men with talent lose it all because they were soft, because they believed they had time, because they bought into the lie that life will wait. It doesn't. Life punishes hesitation. It rewards precision. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you demand. But here's the twist. This isn't a death sentence. It's a wake-up call. That fear you feel right now in your chest, that tightness, that sick realization that you've been wasting your life, that's not weakness, that's power. That's the raw truth cutting through the noise. That's your mind trying to shake you out of the trance. You're not broken, you're buried. Beneath the laziness, the fear, the comfort, there's still a killer in there, a warrior, a focused machine who hasn't forgotten how to move, how to build, how to dominate. You've just been letting the coward run the show for too long. And the coward always wants the easy way out. But the man you're meant to be, he doesn't care how he feels. He executes regardless. FOMO isn't some trend. It's real. Because while you're debating whether you should start chasing greatness, someone else already is. While you're watching one more video, he's launching his business. While you're overthinking your next move, he's already 10 steps ahead. That gap, it widens every second. And soon you'll be watching him live the life you once dreamed about, the car, the freedom, the respect. Not because he was better, but because he moved, because he felt the same fear and used it. That's the difference. You want success, but you want it without risk, without discomfort. That's not this game works. You want to win? Then bleed for it. Sacrifice for it. Suffer with purpose. And yet, even in all of this, there's a fire inside you. I know it, because if there wasn't, you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't care. That means deep down, you haven't given up, you're just stuck. And that's curable, but only if you act. Not tomorrow, not after one more motivational video, now. This is your shot to snap out of the fog, to rise from the pit, to declare war on every wasted year and rewrite your story. You don't need perfect conditions, you need violent action. You need to embrace the chaos, lean into the uncertainty, and prove to yourself that you're not like the rest. Because the truth is, you're not. You wouldn't still be listening if you were. So understand this. You don't have time to play small. Every second you hesitate, someone else advances. Every day you wait, your dream dies a little more. This world isn't going to slow down for you to catch up. You either become the force that shapes your destiny, or you become another forgettable name in the crowd. This is your moment. You're not powerless. You're not hopeless. You're just untrained and undisciplined. But that changes today, if you decide it does, because once you move with urgency, once you act with conviction, the universe doesn't ask questions, it submits. The world doesn't need another nice guy. It needs warriors, commanders, men of fire and intent. And I promise you, if you choose to become one, everything will bend in your favor. Because when you stop wasting time, time stops wasting you. Now, you want to change your life? Then stop playing games with yourself. Stop pretending you need more time, better conditions, or some magical feeling of readiness that never comes. That's how losers think. You're not here to be comfortable. You're here to win. You're here to dominate. And the truth is, no one's coming to save you. There's no magical mentor, no perfect moment, no hidden shortcut. It's just you, your choices, your habits, your level of discipline when no one's watching. You don't need motivation, you need action. You don't need more information, you need to execute on what you already know but have been too scared to commit to. Fear isn't the problem, comfort is. And the longer you cling to that soft, cozy, meaningless comfort, the longer you delay your own evolution. People walk through life like spectators, watching others win, hoping their turn will just appear. But life doesn't hand out trophies for waiting. You want results, then act like a man who deserves them. Do you think success gives a damn how tired you are, how stressed you feel, how hard your past was? No, it rewards those who keep pushing regardless. The world respects force. It responds to men who refuse to break, even when everything around them says they should. And if you want to become that man, you must become obsessed with pushing yourself past your current level, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, every single day. No compromise, no negotiation, because the second you give yourself a way out, you'll take it. That's the nature of weakness. It always looks for a door. Winners weld that door shut. craft of yours. You don't become powerful by accident. You don't build legacy through convenience. You don't craft a life worth envying by being balanced. You do it by becoming unshakable, by outworking the version of yourself that wants to quit. There will be days where your body screams for rest. Your mind will beg you to slow down. People around you will whisper nonsense like you've done enough. But deep inside, you'll know you haven't even scratched the surface. That's the moment everything changes. When you choose progress over peace. When you step forward instead of falling back. That's when you separate from the masses. Not because you're lucky, not because you're special, but because you refuse to quit when everyone else did. I'm not telling you to never rest. I'm telling you to stop pretending that your laziness is healing. Your rest isn't productive, it's escapism. It's self-pity disguised as self-care. You're not tired from hard work. You're tired from avoiding your responsibilities. You don't need a break. You need to reconnect with the fire inside of you. You've dulled your edge with excuses, distractions, and softness, and it's killing the part of you that was born to lead, born to conquer. You weren't made to be average. That voice in your head, the one that won't shut up about what you could be, that's not some fantasy. It's your real self trying to break free from the prison of mediocrity you've built around it. But here's the power. It's still possible. No matter how far you've slipped, no matter how long you've wasted, if you decide right now that enough is enough, if you draw the line in the sand and say, from this moment forward, I go to war with my weakness, then everything changes. Not overnight, not easily, but permanently. The world bows to men who move like they're inevitable. You've seen them. The ones who walk in with that unspoken certainty, that calm aggression, that quiet fire behind the eyes. That's not ego. That's built through suffering, through discipline, through years of doing the hard things when no one clapped. That's earned. And you can earn it too, but you have to decide. You have to decide that no more days will be wasted in confusion, in doubt, in that fog of maybe. You have to pick a direction and burn your damn boat. Force yourself to win or die trying. That level of hunger isn't optional. It's required. And when you tap into that state, when you stop negotiating with weakness and start moving with violent clarity, the world can't stop you. Obstacles shrink, doubts fade, people begin to notice. Not because you're shouting, but because your presence hits different. You carry weight because you've been through hell and built armor from it. That's the kind of man who commands respect without asking for it. The kind who builds empires while others scroll on their phones. The kind who lives free because he suffered for it while others slept. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to remind you what you're capable of. You don't need another pep talk. You need war. War against the weaker version of yourself that keeps showing up uninvited. You need to out-discipline your doubt, out-grind your excuses, out-suffer the man who thinks he's your competition. You're not soft, you've just been untested. You're not lazy, you've been uninspired. But now, you're awake. And the moment a man wakes up to his real potential, the world better move out of the way. Because nothing is more dangerous than a man who's finally had enough of his own bullshit and decides it's time to become the weapon he was born to be. This is the part where most men fold, right here, when it's time to act. Everyone loves motivation. Everyone loves to feel inspired for 5 minutes and then slide right back into the same habits that have kept them broke, weak, confused, and ashamed. But very few men take the next step. Very few are willing to put their pride aside and admit the truth. You've wasted too much time already. You danced around your potential like it's some game, waiting for the perfect conditions to start acting like a man. But deep down, you know that version of you, the one who could have been stronger, faster, smarter, richer, he's been dying while you've been scrolling, sleeping, and settling. He's been suffocating beneath your comfort, and every day you delay, that man dies a little more. And if you don't make the decision now, today, this moment, to do something about it, he will vanish entirely, and all you'll be left with is regret, bitterness, and the haunting memory of who you were supposed to be. You want to know what separates the winners from everyone else? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not some magical upbringing or secret formula. It's decision. Ruthless, undeniable, non-negotiable decision. Winners decide who they are, then they act like it every damn day. They decide what their life will look like, then they work relentlessly to shape the world around that vision. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for someone to hand them a step-by-step guide to manhood. They step into chaos, into pressure, into pain, and they build themselves inside of it. That's how men are made. You think strength is some genetic lottery? No. Strength is built in moments like this, when every fiber in your body wants to relax, but your soul knows it's time to move. This is your shot. And I don't care how many times you've failed before. I don't care how weak you've been, how soft your habits are, how dark your past is. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters is what you do right now. You've been given one of the rarest opportunities a man can have, a moment of awareness. You're awake. You're no longer pretending. You've looked in the mirror and seen the gap between who you are and who you could be. That's the beginning. That's the birth of transformation. But if you don't act on it, if you let that awareness rot into apathy, you'll be worse off than before, because now you'll carry the weight of clarity without action. That's the heaviest burden a man can bear, knowing he had the chance to change and chose to stay the same. So here's what you do. You start. You make the choice that today marks the end of that pathetic version of yourself. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need the full roadmap. All you need is the spine to say no more. No more wasting time on things that don't push you forward. No more lying to yourself about what you're capable of. No more sitting in silence, waiting for a life you're too afraid to build. The moment you draw that line in the sand and back it up with action, everything begins to shift. You don't need motivation anymore. You become it. You become the fire. The example. The man others look at and think, how the hell did he do it? And the answer won't be complicated. You'll simply say, I decided. And then I did the work. But listen carefully. This isn't about one day. This isn't about feeling fired up for a week. This is about locking in for life. You can't be unstoppable sometimes. You can't be disciplined when it's convenient. You can't talk about change and then fall back into your old patterns the second life punches you in the mouth. You've got to become the kind of man who thrives on discomfort, who smiles under pressure, who trains when he's tired, who builds when it's lonely, and who never once considers quitting because that word doesn't exist in his dictionary anymore. That's the price of real freedom. That's the ticket to real power. And the best part, it's available to you right now, not tomorrow, not when you're in a better mood, while things calm down. Now. You are not your past, you're not your mistakes, you're not your bad habits, your family history, your financial status, or your education level. You are what you do from this moment forward. And if you walk out of this without taking action, you'll prove to yourself that your words are empty. You'll prove that you were just another weak man playing dress up in motivational videos. But if you act, if you shift your posture, if you tighten your routine, if you attack your goals with discipline and precision, then this becomes the turning point of your life, the moment everything changed, the moment the weak version of you died and the real you was born. And that man, the real you, doesn't back down. He doesn't quit, and he doesn't wait. He moves, he executes, he builds his life with his own two hands and dares the world to try and stop him. So now you choose, continue sleepwalking through your existence, or wake up and claim what's yours. The time is now. The man you want to become is waiting for you. But he's not coming closer. You've got to meet him. You've got to fight through hell to shake his hand. And when you do, you'll realize he was never out there. He was always inside you, waiting for you to finally show up.